Hey folks, we are back with another episode of Three Men and an Anime. Huzzah!
Hooray!
Yay!
As always, this is Peter Bowman, and I'm joined by my good friends and co-hosts, Eric Carlson and Gav Leaf. How are you guys doing tonight?
I'm getting by.
Gyrobots!
Giant robots.
Yes,
Giant
we
robot.
are discussing giant robots. Gav decided to choose something with giant robots this time.
They're just so unlike me.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
I think we've all done the giant robot dance a few times.
Oh, yeah. I think
It's
I've done
anime.
it. I've done it least. I think. I'm not even positive I've done giant robots. I've done spaceships.
Weren't you Gunbuster or was that Gav?
That was Gav.
That was me.
All right.
I'm not positive if I've done giant robots yet. That's actually a really good question.
You should do giant robots.
I don't even know you, man.
I mean, I like giant robots, but like,
It just hasn't been the time. Me and Eric have been dealing with
well, you
them.
guys keep picking robot shows, and I keep going. Well, I should pick something a little bit different, so we don't just do robot shows.
That's it. Me and Eric are going to choose nothing but slice of life now until you pick a robot show.
Oh,
Okay.
dear God. There's exactly one slice of life I can stand.
I don't pick slice of life very often, but I've only done it once. I'm taking a quick scroll through to make just to confirm that I'm almost positive. No. I thought about doing one robot show, but Eric beat me to it
Gurren Lagann?
twice, actually. Gurren Lagann and Escaflowne.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, I forgot Escaflowne was mine.
Yeah. No, I do the spaceship shows.
That's true.
Then there are
Yeah, I wonder
spaceships.
what we're getting next time.
There are spaceships in this series,
There
Yes.
are.
and they were okay looking.
There are a lot of scenes of spaceships in this series, and then Peter got upset when the robot showed up and spoiled it all.
I did not get that
Rocket
upset by the
powered
robots.
pull axe.
I was actually fine with the robots until one thing happened. Then I was like, this isn't ruining it, but it's not helping. At any rate, we are covering Gav's most recent selection, Mobile Suit Gundam the Origin.
Ooh.
Rise of the Red Comet. This is very, very recent. In fact, it literally just finished airing.
Like last week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because none of us are stupid enough to pick a show that hasn't finished airing before we actually start watching one.
Gav, that's not,
Yeah, we've
it's
never
not even
done
the
that
first
before.
time you've done it, Gav.
No, but the last time I timed it to finish so that we'd get to the last episode when it aired.
Yeah.
Too bad it was Killing Bites.
Yeah. That was a deliberate play. This was like, oops, sorry.
Don't worry about it. It worked out okay due to scheduling stuff anyways, so it's
Yeah.
fine. It's actually totally fine, it turns out. But yeah, so before we get sort of long story short, this is actually technically a prequel series.
Hmm.
It's the basically setting the story for the original 1979 Mobile Suit Gundam.
Mhm.
And speaking as someone who's not watched much Gundam, other than at this point now Build Fighters in the first season of Iron Blooded Orphans, oh, and some G Gundam. None of this counts, is the thing.
Yeah,
No.
none of that counts.
None of it's UC, and only one of them is a serious show, so yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So before we get into this, like, I wanted to sort of talk a little bit about like you two. I know that Eric, you've seen some of the original 1979 show.
Yes,
Gav,
I've
you've
seen
watched
a decent chunk of it.
You've watched a bunch of the other Universal Century stuff, right?
A little bits of it. I've kind of like absorbed it, like osmosis wise. I've picked up what happened because I've been such a fan of Gundam with other places.
Right.
I've never actually. I'll be honest with you. I don't actually think I've actually sat down and watched any of the actual UC stuff, but I know of it, and I know most of it, like through
Right.
reading
Does
and
this
picking
mean
bits
I've
up and-
actually seen more UC stuff than you have, Gav?
Oh, easily.
Oh wow. Okay.
Dude,
that's
I
weird.
came in at Gundam Wing, and
So did I, but then I found like 8th MS team, and I was like, this is much better than Wing.
yeah, I've never seen it. I've never seen Eighth. I don't profess to be the world's greatest Gundam fan. I just like giant robots.
Oh, who doesn't? All right-thinking people do.
But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where I was kind of in the same ship as Peter. Really, it was like I could get started on Universal
But
Century, but that's a
where?
lot of shit to dredge
There's
through.
so much of it, and where do you start other than the 79 series? And oh lordy,
Yeah, it's like I knew about, like, I knew like Amuro and Char, and then for some reason they decided to basically just reincarnate them throughout time in every anime, every Gundam show ever since.
kinda.
They're heavily referenced.
Well, it's like there's Amuro, there's the hero, there's the helmeted bad guy, there's the blonde haired princess.
There's always that there, and like most of this spin-off series is a blonde-haired princess. There's the Char clone, so it's always a magnificent bastard in a mask or helmet.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the protagonist, who, unlike Amuro, is usually a cockwagon.
Yeah,
Amuro's just a git.
I will say IBO did not fall into the cockwagon protagonist.
No, he's just a. Well, he's understandably something of a
know.
psychopath.
Without Mikatsuki, without Augur.
Well, yeah, he's got an outboard conscience, yes.
Yes.
Oh.
Because having an actual conscience actually takes effort and doesn't let him just kick all kinds of ass at a robot, or just kick all kinds of ass. Period. Because he's fucking Mikatsuki.
Yeah.
But at any rate, yeah, I've toyed with watching the original the original 79 Gundam series. I've seen one episode of it when it was on Toonami, and I sat there watching it and going, this seems kind of cool, but oh my god, the animation.
Oh, the animation was cheap for the
dated.
time.
Yeah.
And it's crap now.
Yeah. I'm good at tolerating bad animation, but I'm good at tolerating mediocre animation.
Mm.
But there's this, like, even like the animation in Japan was better. Even the bad animation in Japan was generally better than the animation in the States during the 70s. For the large production stuff. Not like, Disney was still cranking out really good shit.
Yeah,
fucking
Disney was still Disney. Don Bluth had just started his coup.
Right.
And was cranking out some gorgeous stuff. Rankin Bass is doing some great stuff.
But, like, Hanna-Barbera's, at its worst. And
Yeah.
was the vast majority of animation in the States.
Oh, yeah.
But, Mobile Gundam is really dated looking now.
Mm.
It was really dated looking when I saw this, which was, like, 5 to 10 years ago.
You know when like shows like Family Guy make fun of old timey Japanese animation? It's basically just a mouth flap moving and very little else happening on screen. There's parts of Gundam, original Gundam, that get like that.
Yeah, I will say this:
Parts, you say?
There are parts of the original Gundam which are actually animated, Eric.
This is true. Anytime a mech is on screen, that's.
But I will say this: what the animation of that era of Japanese animation, that sort of like the Mobile Suit Gundam and some other stuff from that era, it really makes me appreciate the really good stuff from the 70s that Japan put out. Like, as dated as the original Yamato looks now, holy crap, that looks good in comparison.
Mm-hmm.
Like the original Yamato, it came out in '74, and it's better animated than Mobile Suit Gundam.
Yep.
By a noticeable margin. I think it's mostly just a case of Leiji Matsumoto and his team are just really good. Not a fair comparison is what I'm thinking it boils down to. At any rate, but what we have here in Mobile Suit Gundam the Origin is a prequel, a starting point that looks good. Like, visually appealing.
Mm.
So the question is, okay, it's visually appealing and it looks pretty well animated, and they did a pretty good job of compositing the CGI stuff in.
Largely by just not having other stuff in with the CGI.
Almost if that was smart. But
Yeah,
there was a little bit of compositing they did with other stuff, and it usually worked well.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like Sunrise is actually kind of good at this shit.
I know, shocking, isn't it? I mean, they've only been doing it for 30, 40 years.
The majority of times they did it were to put an animated character in a 3D space, and that's about it.
For the most part, yeah.
They didn't like try to animate people or anything like that. It was just it was the machines and the things around them that were animated.
As a general thumb, yeah. But yeah, so it looked good. So the question was, would it actually end up being well written, and how badly would it being a prequel hurt it? Because prequels have some issues sometimes.
Just a bit.
Largely,
Menace.
The Star Wars prequels as a whole. But I've got a better example of prequels that have an actual issue, which is honestly the Clone Wars cartoon series. As good as it is, it has a serious problem in that you know what's going to happen.
Yep.
Which makes it a lot harder to form attachments to the characters.
My internet dropped for a second there. What was that, sorry?
Sorry. So prequels have a bit of an issue sometimes.
No, which series did you say? Sorry, it was literally that word.
Oh, Clone Wars.
All right, okay, the actual cartoon, yeah.
While it's well written and a lot of the characters are really likable and you want to form attachments to them, the problem is you know what's going to happen to virtually all of them, and it ain't good.
I think the issue with that one is it's more of the case of the characters. It's because the Clone Wars, the cartoon show, isn't a prequel as such. It's a sequel to the prequel.
But it's a prequel to the movies. You know what the end point is going to be. Right,
but what I mean is the character building, the work that was done in, say, Phantom Menace to show us who these characters are, and even Attack of the Clones, who these characters are, what's happened. Then during the Clone Wars, it's like, well, we already know. Why are you're developing things we already know, and we know where the end's going to come. We're not learning anything new about the characters.
Sure, but Clone Wars is not bad. Is the thing? It's got a big flaw in that's actually kind of it's lurking there in the background constantly.
It makes you feel like I say, rather than learning anything new, you're just passing time until
there's
it happens.
I mean, there are some stuff that's new that's actually kind of interesting that they add, but again, there's that whole
Ahsoka Tano is a
totally
great character.
And she's great.
That I hated initially. Like, Jesus Christ, I hate that.
Dear God, she becomes a good character, but
yeah,
the problem is that there's that lurking bad shit's gonna happen to her. You know this. And there's nothing like.
But like you say though, the reasoning for that is because she's not in the movies. We don't know anything about her. They've got free reign to do whatever they want with her.
If it was its own story on its own, they could do interesting stuff. The problem is that like there's an endpoint for the character of Ahsoka that's predetermined.
Except there isn't. That's the only thing.
Yeah, there is. She's not in the movies, therefore she is, and we know what happened to all the Jedi. She is a Jedi. They have to seriously retcon the movies if they want to do stuff other than that with her.
There is a reasoning. I don't know if you want to get into any spoilers about that, but there is a reasoning why that could be expanded on. But yeah,
they did end up retconning it in Rebels.
Ended up killing me by dropping a moon on him. So,
but long story short, like prequel, that's the problem that prequels, as a general rule of thumb, have. Is my point.
Yeah,
is. That the problem is that if you're trying to tell a new story, it's hard to sort of, there's an endpoint that, like, unless you want to change things in the story you're writing the prequel for, you can't, there's only so much you can do without, like, having to retcon stuff. Now, it turns out there was a fair bit of wiggle room with Mobile Suit Gundam.
Mm-hmm.
And it's mostly just they are literally telling you what actually happened.
Yes.
Prior to the show starting.
Yeah, with this, it's less, again, it's less of, fill time between point A and point B.
Right.
And it's literally a case of, how did we get here?
Exactly. No, it's entirely, how did we get to the, where Mobile Suit Gundam 1979
How did Zeon rise to prominence? Who's this Char Aznable guy and what's his bag? Largely, it's who's this Char Aznable guy and how did he end up who he is?
That is the
and the rise of Zeon.
Right, it's the rise of Zeon, and who the fuck is this Char Aznable guy, and what's the deal with, and a little bit about like, okay, what is Amuro's connection to all of this bullshit? Why does this schmucko kid from Earth have any connection to any of this bullshit?
He's not from Earth.
He's from a colony, you're right.
He's a colony, yeah. Basically, what this is, if you watch the original Gundam, and there's a conversation in there saying, I know you. We fought back in the blah 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 blah, and we did this. I trust you because of this. Well, here it is.
Yeah.
Like it's literally all of that context that they would have had to throw in, like, or they probably do throw in line by line by line throughout the show. It's like, yeah, here it is. Here's the political overthrow. Here's everything else. Then go through.
So it does, and it did a really good job of doing this. Honestly, I really enjoyed the show.
There we go. Final thoughts.
Yeah, we could do that, but like honestly, we like. It's interesting because there's a lot to talk about and a lot. First off, they executed a prequel about as well as you can do it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd probably say that.
Yeah.
It does. It sits in there pretty seamlessly.
Now, I can't say fully because I've not seen the original Mobile Suit Gundam yet. I will say it did a really good job of making me go, maybe I should give it another shot. Oh, but that animation's going to hurt.
I've seen a good chunk of it. I just haven't gotten around to finishing it. And yeah, the animation hurts. The writing is good for the time, but is very dated.
Yeah.
Holy crap, is it like super 70s, early 80s?
Yeah.
I mean, we'll get it out of the way. We all came out of this hoping that the Gundam 79 gets a Yamato rework.
Yep.
Yeah, like seriously, if Sunrise decides, and if Sunrise is listening for some godforsaken reason, they're not. Please, dear God, look at what Zebek did with Yamato 2199. Do that to Mobile Suit Gundam 79.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can even
we'll wait and we'll watch.
Yeah, you like I say, you can even abridge it. The stuff that comes through the prequel doesn't need to be explained again. So you can just shorten the original story. That'd be great.
Get rid of the dumbass fucking core fighter.
So yeah, be able to truncate it down from the fairly lengthy epic that it is, from what I understand. It's not like Legend of the Galactic Heroes lengthy, but
No. It's 50 some odd episodes with a decent amount of filler that could be reduced.
Yeah. Yeah, they could probably get that down to 26 episodes, I would guess.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you could easily do that. Just get rid of the core fighter.
You don't like the core fighter, do you, Eric?
I hate the core fighter. Oh my god, what a dumb, stupid thing, even for the fucking 70s.
So, all right. So, Mobile Suit Gundam the Origin has a main character.
Yes.
The man known as Char Aznable. And there's a reason I said the man known as Char Aznable.
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers. This is not really... Yeah, technically a spoiler, yes. I mean...
So the series opens up with not Marx talking about not communism before he is killed by not Stalin.
Please. He's not Marx. It's not Lenin.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. It's not Lenin.
He's totally not Lenin. And he's totally not off by Marx, totally not off by Stalin and his cronies.
His cronies in this case being all his kids.
Yeah.
Yes, Stalin's kids, which is not the case in Stalin's case.
No.
Stalin didn't trust his kids.
He goes into hiding with his kids.
Actually, correction. It's not really that Stalin didn't not trust his kids. Stalin
actively murdered his kids.
And when you think about it, Zabi probably should have done the same.
Zabi, yeah, Deikuns Zabi is, he's a bad person, but dear Lord, he's not Stalin.
No, well, it's hard to be as bad as Stalin, let's be honest here. He's one of history's greatest monsters.
He is. There are a few other people who are on his level.
Yep.
Oh boy, but yeah, Deguin is, fortunately for the comparisons, some of his kids are kind of monstrous.
Oh yeah. I can't remember their names. Why can't I remember any of their names? It doesn't matter. So what happens is, the guy actually named Zeon, who's
Yeah.
What's his name? Why can't I should have the wiki up because I'm a bad person.
Xian Zum Deikun.
That's it. Thank you.
Yes, Deikun is wholly not Lenin.
Well, he has he has the whole philosophy involving people born and raised in space becoming their own separate species and needing to be independent of Earth, and developing a greater understanding because of their close proximity and all this other stuff. Is a very much a firebrand. He's very like the dude's good at giving fiery speeches.
Yes, he is. Yeah, and looks like he's going to declare independence from the Federation. When
yes.
Unfortunately he dies mid-speech. And he totally wasn't poisoned by the Zabis. Nope.
No.
That would never happen. And then the Zabis were maneuvering to take the rest of Daegun's family, the rest of the Zeon family into custody, so they would have them for political reasons. Because Daegun is not an idiot. Daegun Zabi is actually a very smart politician.
He really is.
He is cold and he is cunning and he is ruthless as all fuck. But he doesn't. He will kill someone if it is necessary for his political goals, but he doesn't like wasting people's lives for no gain.
Mm.
This is not to say that, again, he is a terrible person.
Oh yeah,
but he does.
like
he is not in favor of just murdering people or fighting gigantic wars just because. He is very, very clearly one of those people who's like, yeah, war if it's necessary is that you fight it as efficiently as possible and try to end it quickly. And sometimes that means killing a lot of people very quickly in dramatic fashion. But war is the last resort. You gotta have a strong military so that you can back up what your diplomatic means angles, though. At least that's his take on it. At least that's my impression of his take on it, I should say. His kids, on the other hand,
his kids are problematic.
They learned all of the lessons when it comes to, getting ahead through politics, and kind of skip the pages where, other people are actual, things.
Well, no. They didn't get. They got the bit that they're things. They didn't get the things with their people.
Oh, right, yeah.
And his kids are very much what you get when you have a second generation of absolute rulers that didn't learn the meaning of noblesse oblige.
Yeah,
they're convinced of their own superiority, and are fundamentally callous individuals.
Yeah,
all in different ways.
Yep. One of them at
He's
least
probably the nicest, but he's also the dumbest, and he's most likely to just smash your skull in a fit of rage.
Yes,
it's a weird thing where they're actually worse than the Britannian royal family in Code Geass. In that, maybe one of them. Well, like you say, they've got like positive points to them, but it is all overridden for their own gain. There is no, there is no what's her name?
Euphemia.
Yeah, there's no Euphemia in this royal family, in the Zabis. There's no
She shows up in Unicorn.
Well, yeah.
I mean, there's no Euphemia. There's no God, I can't remember her name either. The other Euphemia's big sister is Cornelia.
Cornelia, yeah, and there's no what's the youngest sister's name?
Well, Nunnally, yeah, but of course there's no Nunnally. Yeah. I mean,
Nunnally doesn't count. She was disinherited until she was reinherited, but no one cares.
But there's not even of the the younger generation, there's not even what's his slime ball whose name escapes me.
The first one.
Schneisel.
There's no Schneisel. The closest equivalent of Schneisel's goddamn
Girin.
is
Yeah.
Degwin.
Yeah, you're right.
Degwin's more like Schneisel than he is like Chuck. Because Chuck is a complete monster.
Yeah, this is true.
Chuck is worse than anybody involved in this.
Yeah, well.
Schneisel's just a slime ball.
Yeah. Garma's got a gigantic inferiority complex and is a bit of a brat, but he's not a bad guy. He's actually a remarkably well-adjusted person given who he's grown up around.
Oh god, yeah, it's astonishing. Well, I mean, part of it is that he's young, but
yeah.
No, yeah. At any rate, so yeah.
So anyway, the Zabi family takes up Zeon's philosophy, declares themselves ruler of these sections of space, and calls themselves the Protectorate of Zeon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they take the original idea, apply a whole lot of Tipex, and set themselves up as basically the ruling class.
Yeah. Well, they are clearly the next in line after Zeon died, because he totally died of natural causes.
Yeah, he had a severe case of the politics. It's more the fact that though his original doctrine was to say, we just want to be independent. We'll work with the Earth sphere. We'll get on. We just want to be recognized as our own thing. And they took it, declare independence, go to war, awesome. We'll take over.
They basically their opinion was that they need to win at least one actual significant battle against the Federation in order to stay independent. They need a military to basically be able to punch the Federation in the mouth and basically say, no, you can't. Sorry, Degwin is of the opinion that they need to be able to beat the Federation at least once, dramatically, so that they can actually be independent.
Mm-hmm. And they simply don't have the resources to do that yet. It's going to be a while before they do.
Right.
So yeah, they've restructured themselves as the Republic of Zeon, but they're still part of the Federation.
So just for those who maybe are completely unfamiliar with Gundam, we kind of have skipped over a whole chunk here.
Yeah.
Earth is the main political power. The vast majority, though, of the characters that we involve here live out on what are known as the colonies, and they are literally huge cylindrical colony ships.
They're big.
Set out the Lagrange points past the lunar orbit.
Yep.
Yeah. So they're all like this is the whole thing. They refer to themselves as space noids. They were born on the colonies. They've never been to Earth, or a lot of them haven't. They're basically claiming their independence from the controlling body of Earth. It's your typical satellite states and the big, the big central governance.
Yep. So the important bit is that the rest of Zeon family managed to, with some help, escape being captured by the Zabis. First, they go to one of their most loyal allies, the Rahl family.
The Rahls, yeah. Looking at the list now, Jimbo Rahl is pretty much the Trotsky here. He's the one that like was good friends with Daikun. He with Zeon Zum Daikun, and understood his philosophy. He's also a bit of a nutter.
Yeah,
and his son Ramba, who is actually a member of the
military.
Is actually a member of the military, specifically that particular colony's defense force.
Yep.
And Ramba manages to, with a bit of help from a friendly, totally not spy in a bar.
Yes, his basically his on again, off again lover.
Yeah. She basically sets things up to get the kids at least off Munzo, which is the actual colony that they're on.
The plan was to get the kids and the wife off, but basically eventually they are taken from the Rawls.
Yes.
And from that point on, they could get the kids off the planet, off the colony. They weren't able to get the wife.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because Cassilia, the Zabi spy master, she's got her own like secret police for all intents and purposes, and it's a matter of dodging them, and they get the mother before they get the kids, and they're able to get the kids off.
Zabis kind of ramp things up. So after they've taken down the Deikuns, they also go after the Rawls. You know, they're basically taking out any large political family that can oppose them.
Well, they have to because of how they did it. They have to take out the rest of the Deikuns because they would be a legitimate threat and
they
simply they have a legitimate claim to the throne that the Zabis don't.
Daikun had the plan of capturing them and taking them into quote protective custody. And I believe his plan was definitively not to kill them off.
That was totally everyone else's plan, though.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, totally. Daikun almost certainly had a long-term political plan, and probably my gut feeling from what I was able to infer from the show was he probably would have tried to win the kids over.
Oh yeah, Daikun was totally going to adopt them and like basically
he would have adopted them.
use their claim.
Yeah, I adopt them and now I'm regent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which of course is exactly why Zabi's kids were capture them alive. What was that? Dead or alive? Dead? Okay, dead. Yes. You know, there's no way they were going to allow those kids. And I mean, the
those
reason I'll
just but with the other Zabi kids there's no way they were going to survive to puberty.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not entirely certain about that, given who one of them is.
Yeah. So I mean, we've just been referring to the kids.
Our boy Cassavell there.
Yeah, Cassavell is
Rem Daikun, the son, and his sister Artesia are the ones we're talking about.
I will say this:
who's a badass in and of herself?
She is a badass. She's a different sort of badass.
Yes.
She is not quite as ruthlessly brilliant as her big brother. She's merely brilliant.
She's got this thing called morals that get in the way.
Yeah, she actually has morals and is a good person.
And has empathy and compassion.
Whereas Cascavel cares about exactly one person other than himself.
Yeah.
Well, sorry. There were 3 he cared about. One of them is now dead, and he has to leave the second one behind.
Yeah. So the Rawls managed to smuggle the kids off the colonies and back to Earth, where they literally go to, Spain. I was going to say Mexico because that would have been thematically hilarious.
They are smuggled off along with the elder Rawl, who is totally not Trotsky. Now,
not
if you
at
know
all.
anything about Soviet history and Trotsky in Mexico, you know where this is going. Fortunately for him, no ice picks were involved.
Yeah. Just lots of bullets.
Yeah.
Lots of bullets.
And a guy in a suit of armor, because why not?
Yeah, that was a little weird.
It's like Zeon sent a force to deal with them, and like one of them's walking through the chambers, is like, oh wow, he's got an actual full suit of armor.
It's like,
I'm gonna put that on.
I got a sword. I can stab people.
You know what? A good plan. Those bad guys from Wolfenstein. Make sure we have a guy in full armor and a sword.
The fuck?
All right.
So yeah, basically a great action scene. I mean,
it's great. No, it's fantastic.
Action scene. It's just a little silly. There's a guy in full plate with a sword and a shield.
Oh yeah, it's very weird. But yeah, so they're on Earth, in Spain, not Mexico. The kids have been adopted by
well, it was Ral's dad. It was
Don Tiabolo Mas. Tiabolo Mas.
They were adopted by Don Mas.
Don Mas, but I forgot his name now. His
the elder Rawl
Jimbo went with them. Yeah,
he went with them. He's totally not Trotsky went with them.
And Raul basically got his dad out of the colonies for the same reason, because they were.
The Rawls had sided with with the rest of the Zeon family.
The Deikuns,
So
yeah.
they kind of had Deikun's kid with Deikun's wife and kids. So they kind of had to be broken.
Raul went back to his house to try and find his dad and couldn't find it. The place had been gutted, and he opened up one room to his safe room, so kind of thing. And the dude is there, surrounded by guns, just
okay, Dad, we're going.
Wide-eyed and it's like, okay, this shit's got to stop.
Now, so Ramba was able to make a deal where it's like, okay, look, they're off planet. There are no threat to you. My family is broken. I will eat shit and resign. You don't have to do anything else to the rest of my family. And
the funny thing is, Raul is incredibly well liked in the military.
That's the thing is, the Deikuns is like, I'm okay with this because if I actually screw you over too much, it'll piss off too much of the military.
Yep.
Well, this is the thing. Raul even resigns from the military. He just says, okay, look, I don't care anymore. Look, it's all over. I'm not going to claim, any political power. I've got money enough to just live my life and whatever. I don't even claim military rank anymore. Just fuck off and do your thing. I don't care.
Right.
Just leave me alone.
And Deikuns and one of the kids is perfectly fine with this. Actually,
I think it's Cassilia, actually.
Cassilia's totally fine with this, and the military guy whose name escapes me.
Dozle?
Dozle.
Yes.
Dozle likes Ramba.
Yeah. Dozle actually likes Ramba.
Dozle's like, dear God, I wish he was working under me.
Yeah. Dozle's like, Jesus Christ, I wish we could be friends. It's a shame shit's like this.
I want him working for me if at all possible. He's that goddamn good. Everybody likes him, and he's a brilliant military officer. Why is he not working for me? Oh, right, because we're actually enemies of his family. Fuck. Well, at least he's not being killed. Why are you trying to kill? Oh my God, fine, whatever. I'm not going to argue with you about actually trying to arrest him at this point. Because, of course, they tried to arrest him.
I mean, for a good long while, he's just happy to you'll just find him in the bar.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's holding
hanging out with his girlfriend, listening to jazz music, getting drunk.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not a bad life.
But yeah, long story short,
rest of all the situation from his spy girlfriend.
Yes. So yes, but the Zabis have realized that, okay, well, we have to deal with the kids. Fine, we'll send assassins to kill them. We failed to kill the kids. We got Raul, but oh dear. But the kids survived, as did their adoptive father. Oh, they basically make a deal. Like, look, we'll leave Earth. We'll go to some out of the fucking buttfuck nowhere one of the buttfuck nowhere colonies, and we have no claim to anything. Leave. Just don't kill us, for Christ's sake. Leave us alone.
Yeah, they end up going to literally Space Texas.
Yes.
Yes. Huge fucking colony, Texas, written down the side.
Where they get to know another family.
Yeah, they end up becoming good friends with the Aznable family, who are ranchers on the planet.
Yep. And their oldest son looks a lot like Escobar.
Edward for Escobar. Yep.
Oh yeah, by that point he's gone to he's Edouard de Mas now.
Yes. And Edouard looks a lot like the eldest son of the Aznable family, Char. So we get to finally meet Char Aznable, the man who's going to become the driving force of the driving antagonist of Mobile Suit Gundam.
Yes.
The real protagonist, let's be honest here. Amuro's a bit of a git.
But at any rate, yes, we finally met Char Aznable. Now, yeah, he looks a lot like Escobar. A lot.
His eyes are a different color.
Yeah, the only difference is Char has blue eyes and
Char
has brown.
Escobar has blue eyes.
Casval has blue eyes and Char has brown eyes. Yeah.
Yep. That's basically the major difference between the two. They're basically identical otherwise.
Well,
what are the chances,
anyway.
Physically, yeah. Well, the odds of that happening turns out it happened, but they're not very likely.
I blame the animators.
So yeah, and Char ends up wanting to join the Zeon military.
Casable's like, yeah, I could do that. That sounds like a good plan.
I'll go to the academy on Char's recommendation because he's my buddy.
Yeah. So Charles gets his orders to ship out and like go to like the higher school, and he and
Eduardo
Casval goes.
at this point. Yeah.
Well, Eduardo at this time. He's not going directly there. He's got another flight booked to do something else. I can't remember what it was.
So he's going to the academy.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's it.
They're both going to the academy
together. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
There's a great scene where they're moving through the terminal, and Eduardo at this point is looking around, and he makes no less than 5 agents. He's like, "There's like, okay,
they're going to end up taking different ships."
Yeah.
And Edward has to go to somewhere else, like a different place before he can go to the academy.
Right.
Because because he is younger than Char.
Than Char, yeah. So he nicks Char's papers.
Yep.
He nicks Char's papers, so Char is left behind. Has to be left behind. He's like, Char's like completely broken up about this. He's like, what am I going to do? He's like, dude, just.
Well, no.
Just,
what?
I have to go to the bathroom. Come with me.
Well, he doesn't take his papers there. He somehow Char ends up with a weapon in his suitcase.
Yeah. The problem is one of them gets held in customs.
Right.
So customs holding him up. He's like, but I gotta get to the academy. And Char's like, dude, come with me. I have to go come with me. So he drags him off and says, we'll be right back. I have to go to the restroom. And he's like, okay, dude, what we'll do...
switch places with me. You can pick up a connecting flight where I'm going and head right on the way.
I can soak up your time. I'm not under the same rush you are, dude.
Yeah.
And Charles like, oh my god, you are so awesome.
You were my best friend. Thank you. I'm like, gives him a big hug and heads off. And Eduardo Moss heads off onto his flight.
There is a great scene on the shuttle mid-flight, and he's like, oh man, this was so lucky. This was cool. And he's looking through his bag. He's like, oh shit, I don't have my papers. Oh fuck. Right. Oh shit, how am I going to get through the other end without my papers? Turns out it's not a problem.
Yeah, it's really not much of a problem because, those Xeon agents that Char had made, that Edward had spotted, since Char was leaving the colony, they've decided to make sure that he would not be a problem, nor any of the people on the rest of that shuttle flight, in particular shuttle flight that he was on.
Terrible accident, really. It's just
a tragic space accident.
Yep.
Oh, it's the worst.
They're rare, but they do happen. And
who knew that space shuttles could contract politics?
Yep. And so Char Aznable, who's totally the original Char Aznable, and never mind his blue eyes. That's just some
it turns out he developed some sort of condition where he needs to wear sunglasses all the time.
It turned his eyes blue, and his eyes are very sensitive now.
Yeah,
he refers to it as like some sort of passes it off as some sort of spatial radiation sickness,
and which apparently is a thing in the Gundam universe. So okay, sure. By the way, dear God, I feel terrible for his sister at this point.
Yeah, because his sister, who's just this like little ball of like sweetness and lightning, is just like, my brother's dead? My brother's flight exploded? Oh no!
Because at this point, Dad was assassinated. We had to leave Mom behind, and
she gets word all on the same day. Like, gets word her mom is dead. Her cat dies. Gets word her brother exploded.
Her brother dying was a bit later. Was at least like a week later.
Yeah. I mean, take into account obviously.
But yes, her cat dies, and she finds out her mom died on the same goddamn day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
her mom that they had to leave behind in prison died in prison.
Mm. It's because we followed these two now for a fair few years. Like from I think Char was like 4 or 5 when we first met him.
I think it was 6.
Yeah, he was 6 and she was like 4.
Yeah, and at this point now he's 16, 17, 18, going to the academy kind of thing.
Yep.
And they actually it's a weird little thing. They actually use this cat as a way of showing the aging. She had a kitten to start off with, a vicious little fucker, but she had a kitten.
That cat was sweetness and innocence towards her and Char.
Yeah. Just no one else. And
no!
then,
Anyone that
obviously,
got to know over enough time, it liked.
And it got to the point where it died of old age. It's fair enough. But at the same time, it's like the only reason they got Artesia away from her mother in the first place was because her mother made her a promise that she'd something like she'd come back and see her after X amount of like full moons.
Right.
So this like 2-3-year-old kid got to Earth, and the first thing she starts doing is researching and trying to do the math of how many months, how many full moons were there in a month, or how long it was going to be.
And she was like, "Oh, I see what Mom did now."
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I'll see her when she gets back. Well, I will see her eventually. It's just going to be a lot longer than I thought.
Yeah.
Because Artesia's a smart kid. She's really smart.
Yeah.
Also, she is one of the only people who can talk her brother down.
Yes.
Because there's a really neat scene where he spots a Zabi spy in the New Texas place, and beats the shit out of it. And she runs outside, Char, stop it! And he's like, oh, fuck.
Right. Sorry.
Right. Artesia doesn't like it when I'm a complete sociopath. Right. I'll dial it back for. Yeah. Right. I shouldn't murder.
My little sister does not like it when I fucking murder people.
Yeah, I mean, at the point he's brandishing a 2x4 with nails sticking out the wrong end. He's like, oh right, okay, turn it round and use the flat end.
He's like, yep, nope. Artesia's right. I should just murder this guy. This way he can send a message back to the Zabis and tell them to not fuck with us.
And as much as we joke, Char is exactly that kind of person. He is every bit the political, viper that quite honestly would have, worked pretty well if everything hasn't gone to shit.
If everything hadn't gone to shit and he'd actually honestly had Deikuns' plan worked, he probably could have won him over eventually.
Yeah.
And if he did, dear God, watch out. And yeah, I'm not entirely certain the rest of Deikuns' kids would have been able to get rid of him before he actually managed to, isolate them and crush them politically at the age of 15.
The only reason the Zabi family still exists is because Char had to go back to the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
And yes, from this point onwards, we will be referring to this guy as Char
because this is who he is now.
That's who he is now. Yes.
So yeah, he goes off to the academy. He meets Garma, the youngest son of Deikuns Zabi. And Garma is a very, very talented, smart kid who's, or young man actually at this point, who's actually a competent cadet at the academy.
But he's totally not feeling the weight of his name on him.
What? No, that would be wrong. That would totally, yeah. He totally doesn't feel like he totally feels like he's earning everything he's doing because totally. But yeah, he starts out. He and Char start out. Rivals is not exactly the right word, because that would imply a two-way relationship on that. Because yeah, Char is very much Garma's rival.
Yes.
Not so much the other way.
Yeah.
Char positions himself to become Garma's best frenemy.
Yes.
He knows exactly how to play Garma's obvious
insecurities.
Super obvious insecurities.
They totally become best friends. And Char will never betray Garma. Nope, never.
Nope, that never happens.
Not during this show, at least.
Yeah,
not during this show.
But yeah, and so what we get here is a little quick sort of vignettes of them going through a little bit of them going through the academy. Char running afoul of one of the officers, who is taking a dislike to him and sort of giving him shit about his glasses, and knocks him off his head. And Garma actually sticks up for him at this point.
Yep.
And it's because and Garma basically gets to pull in his whole look. I'm Garma fucking Zabi, but I'm totally just a cadet. I'm suggesting to you that you are in the wrong here because you technically are, and you should pick up his glasses and give them back to him. And I'm totally not trading on my name right now.
Because that would be wrong.
Implying that he will be trading on his name later if he doesn't.
Yeah.
If need be. See, I'm not trading on my name now.
Well, I mean, that's the thing about Garma, though, is that, like you say, he does trade on his name when the officer steps out of line. It's like, he lays hands on a cadet, he physically slaps him. And it's not he's not the kind that would, like, wager his name to just be an asshole about it. But it's like, no, you're being a dick. You're not doing your job, and it just so happens that I've got ways of making sure that you regret it. I'm not going to throw my weight around and say I'm not going to obey orders or anything like that. But no, you're not taking the piss.
The officer's like, yeah, I'll go pick up those glasses now. Yeah, I should. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, all right, yeah. Are you going to complain to Kid the president? Well,
as a matter of fact. Oh, wait, you're the president. Oh, right. Huh. Oh, dear. I've stepped in it, haven't I?
Yes.
The other important bit is that one of Char's old friends from the previous school is there, and they started out rooming together, and he notices a few things about Char that are a bit different.
Yeah, this guy does not know when to shut up.
Yeah.
He's really not smart.
He's smart enough to know to figure out exactly who Char is. He is dumb enough to tell him.
Yeah, eventually, basically, he's able to reverse it. He's like, okay, he's not acting exactly. He looks like Char, but he's not acting exactly like Char. There's something a little bit off. I know. I'll test him to find. Oh dear Lord! I said something. I asked him about something that I made up, and he bought into it. It's not actually Char.
He asked him about like a sports event that they went to when they were in high school together, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I remember that." Aha! It never happened. And all three of us were just like, "Oh fuck, dude."
Why, dude? Why?
Well, okay. If you don't say anything, you might not get dead. Oh look, you've run into him in the stairway during this thing that's happening, and have told him that you know that he's not Char. Also, you know that he is actually Cascabel Zeon, and that you totally support him. And you're like, dude, you're awesome. You're the best. I want to be your biggest follower. And he's like, fuck, I don't need people knowing who I am right now.
Yeah, Char's response is literally, "I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about." At that point, take the fucking hint.
Yeah.
But he keeps going because he's an idiot.
And he wants to be on their side. He wants to be support the actual Zeon name. He wants to help him out to achieve his goal.
And then we get to see just how Char achieves his own goals.
Yeah. Let's just say it does not end well for this guy, and we.
Yeah.
Well, there's the Zeon Military Academy has a little coup against the
Federation,
the local Federation barracks.
Military base.
The recruits decide to launch their own raid on the local Federation base, and because of the planning of Char and the admittedly tactical competence of Garma.
Garma does two things very well in this. He's actually he's a competent tactician and strategist. Also, he is actually an inspiring leader. The rest of the cadets do look up to him.
Yes,
and they respect him as a Zabi, and not just as a Zabi, but as a Zabi that they can respect.
Yeah. And he's also very good at taking advice and knowing what's good advice and what's bad.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, this guy who is, I've just looked him up, is called Lino. Lino Fernandez.
Yeah.
Who is also from Side 5, hence New Char. Yeah, while they're in battle, he's literally on the radio to Char. Private line, but he's like, Daikun, he's like on a fucking military channel referring to him this way, and he's like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, will you shut up?" And he's like, "Okay, Lino, see that enemy tank over there? I want you to go and capture it." Okay.
Well,
Does
yeah.
so.
He finds out Lino is actually capable of actually piloting a tank. He's like, "Good, go take that tank." Okay, great, beautiful. All right.
Hey guys, there's a tank coming around that corner. We need to take it out before it becomes a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And so he comes around the corner, and oh look, there are the rest of our rest of my team pointing their anti-tank weapons. Why are they pointing their anti-tank weapons at me? Guys, what? They can't hear me. Guys, no, don't blow me! Boom.
Tragic accident.
Yeah,
Happens every day.
Friendly fire it's a thing. It's a damn shame. How could they have possibly known it was one of their allies who'd stolen a tank from the Federation?
Yeah, it's just terrible thing. Tragedy, really.
Yep. Char's a goddamn bastard.
Char's a fucking bastard.
He's amazing, but dear God, he's a bastard. Yeah, so during all of this, of course, they also go into the background of the development of mobile suits. So we actually get to see the creation of the first Zaku's.
Yeah, well, up to this point, we've seen gun tanks. They exist. They're basically mobile suit torsos on tracks. We've seen mobile workers, just basically lifters and mechanics. In fact, we have one scene earlier on that we've kind of skipped over a little bit. That's coming up. Sorry, that's coming up. But yeah, we see mobile workers, which are basically industrial versions. Nowhere near as sophisticated, but they're basically like JCBs on legs.
Yep.
So the technology's there, but then Xeon are basically trying to apply it to the military. Like,
well, the big thing is they don't have a decent power source.
Mm-hmm.
They're stuck on umbilicals or like giant inefficient gas engines and that kind of stuff.
Yes.
But eventually,
Dr. Why can't I remember his name?
I always think
it's Minovsky.
I always think Minovsky. Yeah, I always think Plavsky
Minovsky.
because it's the plastic version for gunfighters, build fighters. But yeah, Dr. Minovsky.
So yeah, Minovsky comes up with a miniaturized power plant for them. And Ramba is brought in to help test them. So as a way to look, dude, we will stop pursuing you and the people who work for you. They will get pardons, everything. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Come work for us in the mobile suit testing thing, and all will be forgiven. And Ramba's like,
yeah, okay, I can do that.
If this means that you will stop screwing with my girlfriend and her bar and my friends, I'll do it. And he does, and he's apparently very instrumental in actually getting these damn things to work.
Yes.
Because Ramba Rawl is awesome.
He is.
Up to that point, you've got like they had military guys who were trying to, but they couldn't really. Like there'd been pilots of like gun tanks and other things like that, but they weren't really getting the sort of. They weren't giving the feedback quite right, or they weren't acting in, they weren't testing these machines in the right way in like actual battle simulations. They were just, whomping on things. It's like they weren't learning anything from it. And then they brought Ral, who was actually a challenge for these guys, and they could see in what these machines could do and how to improve them.
Well, part of it is Ral starts giving there's a fair amount of like success bias happening, and Ral's like, okay, here's the things that I can see. You don't need armor here and here and here. Why is this cockpit exposed? Stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, that's probably a good idea to like armor that, isn't it? You think?
Well, don't you want to see out of it? I've got a head full of sensors up there. I don't need it.
You don't want the pilots being vulnerable, you dumbasses. Also, during the lead up to the cadets rebelling, Garma does let slip to Char that that his dad is working on, or his uncle, I think actually, his uncle, is working on these mobile suit things. They see the mobile workers, and Char's like, really interesting. I see potential in that.
Red.
And those things look kick ass in red. I need to get in on this shit.
He's not wrong.
I need to get in on this shit. So yeah, after the rebellion, basically, Char basically sets himself up.
Played off as just a bunch of angry kids, like, and they will be totally punished, and we'll handle it ourselves in house. Federation,
this is the thing. Char has absolutely no interest at this moment, at least, in serving in the Zeon military. He's not looking to be a Zabi soldier at any point. And basically they realize that they were successful, but technically they were at a ceasefire with the Federation. And this was essentially an act of war. I mean, we can pass it off that it was the recruits and they were just a bit, a little bit full of themselves and went for it. But somebody's going to take the fall for this, and it can't be Garma.
Yeah.
And Char basically volunteers.
Yeah.
It's like, and if if I ever come back, if we ever need to come back, and you ever do get those mobile suit things working, I might be interested. Just saying.
Just saying. It might be kind of awesome.
And it's like, really? Huh. We'll keep you in mind. Look at his test scores. We'll very much keep you in mind. Garma, what do you think of this Char guy? Oh my god, we need to get him back in the military as fast as possible.
Yeah, he's totally punished. Yep, it's been all of 6 weeks. Get him back in. Totally get him back in.
Well, they do this at this point. They take a moment to like I almost went into it a minute ago. Char, he's like, okay, mobile suits, they're going to be a thing. I'm pretty certain they are going to be a thing. I need to learn how to use them. So he gets just a random construction job, specifically because that on Earth, he goes all the way back to Earth. Specifically because that construction job has a mobile worker.
Yep,
and he learns to pilot to use the mobile worker, because that would be he has no ulterior motives for that whatsoever.
Like, we literally join him X amount of months into the job. He's already the designated mobile worker pilot.
Because Char is not really good at anything and everything he tries. Char is not a polymath. Nope, not at all.
Nope, not at all. The important bit of his time on Earth is also he ends up fighting some mobsters and liberating this girl from the colonies named Lala, which is a silly name, but whatever.
She will be important, not in this story.
Yeah, she is not important in this story, but
there are several characters they introduced throughout the origin who is, okay, this person is going to be important in Mobile Suit Gundam, in a later later Gundam series. But this is where this is where this character meets someone else who's important in this story.
The important thing is she is proof as to Zeon Deikuns' suppositions of a new type of human, evolving out in space.
Yeah,
because she's actually what's
gets referred to as a new type. Right?
Really good at predicting things and reading people's thoughts. Just like cold reading, basically. And yeah, she's really good at these things. Like, almost supernaturally good.
She's totally not a telepath. Nope, not at all.
She's not a new type.
That would be wrong. But yeah, Char basically saves her, and she's like, yes, you are awesome. I will come with you.
You're awesome. You're now my boyfriend. I wasn't looking for that, but okay.
Okay.
I'm told that's a thing people do. Okay.
Char is very aware that is something people do. Char is aware of how the human race propagates. He is not an idiot. He's not even emotionally an idiot. He's just cold, he's just generally somewhat cold and distant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there are people. There are people he decides that okay, I actually give something resembling a crap for this person.
Yes.
Maybe it's because they're going to be useful at some point. Maybe it's because it's his sister.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. If Char looks at you and sees you as and actually shows compassion and warmth towards you, either he's lying or he thinks you're useful because you're not his sister.
He cares about his family. Shame that all but one of them is dead now.
Amusingly, later in Gundam, it turns out he really does have actual, real feelings for Lala.
I actually believe that, honestly.
Yeah.
He's not a complete sociopath. He's
not a sociopath. He's just very good at patricianing off his emotions.
Yes. So, yeah. But yeah, from here on, basically, they just sort of describe they basically go through the events of the war between Zeon and the Federation. That leads up to the beginning of Mobile Suit Gundam. So we have all the big events that happen. We've got the battle. We've got the colony drop. We've got the Battle of Loom. We've got
the actual debut of the Red Comet, where he starts earning his name as an ace.
Right. So we get to see Char kick all kinds of ass.
Yes.
And
we get to see the first. We get to see the first deployment of mobile suits in a naval battle, and it's very much like watching airplanes the first time airplanes were deployed in a naval battle.
Yeah, as I said, like Eric and Gav were expecting me to be annoyed by the fact that the spaceships got their asses kicked by the mobile suits. To which I pointed out, no, this is what fighters did to non-aircraft carriers in World War II. I'm okay with this.
Right up until one of the aces pulled out the rocket-powered.
I was like, but you have guns. The guns make sense. The rocket-powered poleaxe is cool, but this is not an anti-starship weapon. I'm sorry.
I don't care. It's a rocket-powered poleaxe. I'm in love with it. I'm eloping with it.
They do a good showing of actually giving a bit of gravitas to how much mobile suits of the quality of the Zaku, because like I say, up until that point, Earth had been developing them. The Federation had been developing them, and they made basically walking gun tanks, the gun cannon.
Yep.
Which were okay.
They were fine. They were actually perfectly viable. They were somewhat viable battle suits. Unfortunately, they were not Zaku.
Yeah.
No. You see the big difference between a gun tank and the Zaku when Dr. Minovsky tries to defect on the moon, and Raul and his commandos drop Zaku ones on there to stop him, and they deploy their super elite gun tanks to face the Zaku. Zaku take him out 3-1 with no losses.
It's not. They weren't even trying.
It's not even a fight.
Yeah.
It's brutal. Holy shit. Yeah, and unfortunately, Minovsky got killed despite basically everybody who actually in charge who actually wanted to bring him back alive because
Yeah.
It's
Everyone
Minovsky.
wanted to bring him back alive. The Zeon forces come back. Well, he's not with the Federation.
And Raul's commander's like, well, that was win condition 2, just way back from win condition 1. So okay.
And Raul's like, I know. It's not.
Yeah, my unit's a dumbass. My unit's full of.
My unit had a
dumbasses.
dumbass. I'm sorry.
I tried to rein him. It's like, no, it's not your fault, Raul. It's not actually your fault. I know that guy's a fucking moron.
This is still an acceptable result. It's okay.
It's a win.
Not
it's
ideal.
Still a win. It's not an ideal win, but it's a win. At least he didn't go to the fucking Federation. We'd much rather have had him back, but dear Lord, it could have been worse. So yeah, Char gets to kick ass at the Battle of Loom, and oh dear Lord, does he kick ass?
Yes.
Like the other Zaku pilots are doing well, and then Char shows up and makes them all look kind of like
Yeah, there's a great scene like in the
it basically points out that there are the Zaku pilots, there's Ramba Raul, and there's Char.
Yeah.
And
Well, there's a-
the difference between Rambarral, Char, and everybody else is kind of stark.
yeah. Well, there's also there's like the elite group called I mean these are the guys that are in the Zaku, the Mooks. They call themselves the Black Tri-Stars. There's like 5 of them, I think.
3. That's why they're the Tri-Stars. There are 3 of them.
Does some die then? Because there's definitely 5 listed on the list.
I think we only ever. Maybe I'm wrong, but I only remember ever seeing 3 deployed: the Polax guy, the sniper guy, and the rocket guy.
Moot point.
Well,
Not that important.
Not a huge point. Either way, there's a scene where because they've got this idea that they're the elite and they don't like
They don't
like
Char.
this upstart showing up with his like flashy red mech, which is put around being cool and showing them up.
Despite the fact that they've got theirs painted in like specific
black
colors
and purple.
for
They're painted like fucking
well.
They're painted like fucking Decepticons, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
To be fair, their color scheme blends better into space than
really does.
Than Char's.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, given the distances in which space combat should occur in space, the color of your ship shouldn't goddamn matter.
Yeah. But like, there's a bit where like Char comes in from his training exercise outside and into the hangar, lands and jumps down, and they're like, he's like to the tech, that felt sluggish. He's like, well, yeah, sorry sir, the limiter's on at like 90. Well, the limiter's like reduced to like 10%. There's not much in. And Char's like, did I say I wanted a limiter at all? Well, yeah, but I mean, like, it's no different to
the G-force will kill you. No, it won't.
Yeah. Well, the guys, like the other guys over there, they're operating at 20%. He's like, yeah, don't care, take it off. Okay.
Yeah, I'm better than they are. I can handle it. And he is, and he can.
And he really is. That's how he gets the nickname the Red Comet, because he just pushes it. It's a scene where like he drops out in the upgraded version now, the Zaku 2.
Yep.
Drops out of the thing and hits the thrusters. And it's just like one of those cheesy movie moments where you just see him pushed into the back of his seat, just going, yeah! Not making anything anywhere near an undignified noise like that, but he's just like grinning his face, G-force just shoving him into his seat.
Yep.
When Char is first introduced in Mobile Suit and Gundam 79, they're like, there's an incoming heat signature. It's moving at 3 times normal speed. Oh shit, it's the Red Comet. This is where you get the name, the Red Comet. Because he does that.
He likes to arrive suddenly.
Hey, if you can survive the G-forces.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the end result of this is the Federation fleet is beaten badly. The Admiral is captured. And yeah. Big win for Zeon.
Yeah.
So yeah, from this point on, we get, basically, Deikuns basically is talking with the Admiral about, okay, we need to find a way to actually, like, achieve a ceasefire. We need to actually, we need to end this. We need to stop. We've won a big battle. We need to now sue for peace. We need now to have peace between the Federation and Zeon, so that, 5 billion, so billions of people don't just die randomly. We don't have more stupid incidents like, the colony drop, which I admit was extreme.
It was more than I anticipated. Let me put it out there. I did not expect the colony to break into 3 pieces on re-entry and hit 3 separate continents and destroy them.
Yeah, see, the colony drop is a bit of a legend in the Gundam universe. It's one of those things they pull out when they want to make it like super serious. Like, oh my god, they're dropping a colony,
and it's never shown in it is referenced and it's shown. It's shown in, like, you see like a still of a colony dropping onto a skyline, and that's it.
The thing about it is, the Federation like base that they're aiming for is essentially upper. I think it's New York or something. That area. It's basically America. They managed to hit South America, Australia, and Canada.
Well, they weren't expecting the thing to break up on re-entry quite the way it did.
Yeah.
Like, well done, guys. Well done.
They hit everything except what they were aiming for.
You delivered the message, but you kind of missed the boss.
And caused, and yeah, it was an extinction level event. It was like, oh, that was several dinosaur killers there. Oops.
On the plus side, at least we have the technology to build domed cities, which is we fortunately we got cities like in places where normally people can't live because
Well, I mean, they can build the colonies, so that's not surprising. But yeah, it's like you can build the colonies, so therefore, yeah, we can build cities pretty much anywhere. So, hi, Hawaii and Antarctica.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's Deikuns' plan. Deikuns
has a couple of problems. One of them is his son.
Yeah. And not
the
Karma.
other one's his daughter.
Yeah.
Cassilia is one of his sons will follow his orders.
Yeah, and it's only because he's not programmed to think for himself.
Dozle will follow Deguin's orders.
Yes.
Girin has his own plans. Cassilia has similar ambitions to Deguin, to Girin, but she hates Girin and loves her dad, but she thinks her dad's wrong.
Yes.
So Deguin's like, okay, we've got a major victory. Now we can push for peace. And Girin's like, yes, now we can push the advantage and conquer Earth.
Were you paying attention to the colony drop? Earth is useless now. Nope, we're conquering Earth. No, we're not. I'm still in charge.
Nope, conquering Earth. Oh, for fuck's sake.
It's okay, Father. Fine. We'll use your plot. We'll take your plan and conquer the Federation.
I'm gonna have to work around my son, aren't I?
You're not listening again. No, it's okay. I'll have you in charge of the Federation in no time, Father. Oh, fuck's sake.
All right, Cassilia. Yes, Father. What I want you to do is work around your brother. We need to be able to make peace with the Federation. Of course, Father. I totally agree with you, Father. I'm always been your biggest supporter, and I always will be. Now, I'm always going to be your biggest supporter, but you're actually wrong in this, and we need to actually conquer the Federation because we can't actually have a long-lasting peace with them because we are too diametrically opposed, and they're never going to forgive us for the colony drop. So we have to beat them thoroughly. Now, I hate Girin's guts because Girin is a shit, and Cassilia's right. Girin is a shit.
To be fair, Cassilia is also a shit.
Yes, but she is at least loyal to something other than
pure ambition.
She has redeeming features other than being smart.
No. She's just more subtle than Girin. That's really all there is.
No,
to it.
She has loyalty to someone else other than herself.
Okay, fair enough.
She actually cares about her family, most of it, with the exception of Girin, because Girin is the worst.
So yeah, the thing is though, she doesn't tell her father this. What she does, she goes, "Yes, Father, I'll do everything you say," and then immediately goes and speaks to the guy who's going to Earth to be part of the peace talks, and saying, "Oh, well, by the way, while you're there, here's a commando strike team. Take over."
He's like, "What? I mean, I'm totally down with this. I think this peace thing is a stupid idea. Yes, that's why I chose you." Okay.
The Zabis at this point are all playing from about 5 different song sheets.
Yeah.
Right, and now,
Deguin's playing classical. Cassilia's got her rock on, and I'm pretty sure Girin's just listening to Gua.
No, Girin has stolen Captain Nemo's organ and is playing it.
Yeah.
He's gone insane and is playing the organ madly because that is the sort of person Girin is. And he doesn't. The problem is he doesn't have any noble motivations the way Captain Nemo did. Again, Nemo was an asshole, but at least he had actual motivations beyond. I will conquer everything.
Yeah, Girin is
poor Dozle's over in the corner with his triangle going, when's my part?
Ding, 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 ding. When it's time for the fight to actually happen, We'll give you a call. You come and ring your triangle and send your fleets and mobile suits and things. Okay. So, Cassilia is going to send is attaching. So Cassilia is okay. Now Cassilia comes with an actually very clever plan, in that she fakes the Federation busting the Admiral out of prison. Because Cassilia is actually smart.
Yeah.
So the Admiral thinks that he's being rescued by, the Federation. And he basically, okay, well, we can't actually trust the Zabis. We actually can't, we can't sue for peace right now. So yeah, we're not suing for peace, which pisses Deikuns off to no fucking end.
Right.
He's like, but we had a verbal agreement about actually suing for peace. The fuck? Like, yeah, you busted and got back. That's fine. I'm actually okay with that, kinda. But
well, that was the implication, wasn't it? That it was Deikuns that actually orchestrated the escape, because they had a conversation beforehand saying that we need to find a way to solve this. And the Admiral's words to him was like, "Well, you're the head of Zeon, and I'm just a guy in a cell."
Yes, you are.
Deikuns stands up because, yes, you are. That's a good point. Is that I understand? I understand. Like halfway down the hall, he just keeps reading, "I understand."
Yeah, unfortunately, the Admiral didn't actually get that, I think. Deikuns was a little bit too subtle for him, I think. But yeah, Deikuns also hears about that the Federation's developing a new super mobile suit and is like, okay, Char, yeah? Got something for you. Yeah? Char's here going, okay, what does this guy want? What does my mortal enemy want with me? So yeah, the Federation's working on a mobile suit thing. I'm going to give you a ship of your own and carte blanche to go find it and blow it up. Char's like,
really? So, you're getting this, fancy new spaceship. Really? Yeah, you're captain. I don't want to be captain. You, lieutenant, you're captain. I am? Yes. Okay.
What do I do?
Captain at them. Just captain at them. I don't care.
Basically, he basically, Char's like, basically, the lieutenant actually knows how to be a starship captain. It's just that he's like, I'm not ready for appropriate rank for this. Yes, you are. Now, you command the ship. I'll give you general orders. And when I decide when I want to, I'll go get my mobile suit and go fly off and kick ass that way. If I was captain of the ship, I couldn't go kick ass in my mobile suit whenever I want to. And that would be stupid.
And that's the most important thing to me, except for the other thing that you don't know about.
I'm not telling you.
The other most important thing is murdering your leaders, but you don't know that.
But
just ignore what I just said.
There's a time and a place for that to happen. It is not currently now. I do not have the proper support for that at the moment. I need to build my own personal power base. But yeah, Char's like, oh, this seems crush the. Okay, so blow up enemy mobile suits so they don't get mobile suits. That seems like a good thing. I earn your favor. You're currently showing me favor, which means you totally won't see it coming when I stab you in the back. This is good. I totally will never stab the Zabis in the back. Nope, that would be wrong.
That would be completely. That's just terrible. Why would it be a terrible accident? Just a tragedy. Happens every day.
Yeah, it'd be a real goddamn shame if the entire zombie family was coming down with a bad case of the politics.
To be fair, episode 1, one of the Zabi's own brothers came down with a bad case of the politics.
Yeah.
Oh right, we forgot the guy who is probably going to be Deikuns' actually anointed heir gets blown up in a car next to Dozle. Dozle doesn't care. He's just upset his brother got exploded.
Dozle's mildly injured. He's like by the exploding car. It's like.
Sasro, I think his name was. Sasro and Dozle are in the back of a procession. I think this is just after the funeral of Deikun.
Yeah.
They're on the way back.
This was a thing. This was a. They were framing. They did this to frame the Rawls.
Yes.
Despite
so they would have an excuse to go after. So they had an excuse to go after the family on the Rawl estate.
Mm-hmm.
Cascabel and etc. At any rate, so yeah.
I just like I say the main part of that is he's in a car bomb while he's in the car. Him and Dozle are both in the car bomb. Dozle gets out.
Dozle was mildly annoyed by this. I mean, he was injured. It was very clear that he'd taken actual. He was
He
actually,
just decent scars out of it, but he pretty much just like opens the door and goes, "I think there's something wrong with my brother."
he's hurt really bad. Dozle, yeah, he doesn't have a head anymore.
Dozle, I'm pretty sure he's scattered over the entire city block.
I'm pretty sure
I know you got to
half
save
of
his
him.
life. He's very dead, Dozle. Oh. Oh.
And he's the military commander.
To be fair, he's actually a competent military commander.
Yeah.
His
He-
brain
he's-
does. His brain is useful for military strategies and caring about his family.
He went into the academy with an empty jar, and it was filled.
He does two things good: be military leader, care about his family.
Yeah.
Literally, he's
like an
bad
orc
at
war boss.
everything else.
He's something of an orc war boss. He just doesn't understand not everyone's as tough as him.
Yeah. But literally, he loves his family. He's a doting father. Actually, so's Deikuns for that matter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dozle's a lot like Deikuns, except just not smart.
Just not as nearly as smart.
No, just not smart. Period.
Yeah.
He's a fine military commander and nothing else. And the thing is, I will give Dozle this. He's aware of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's
He
absolutely
knows
happy
his
with it.
limitations. He's like, I am not a politician. I am bad at that sort of shit. What am I good at? I'm good at leading people into fights and
Getting exploded.
I am tough as nails. I'm a good leader, and I have a decent grasp on strategy and tactics, and a better tactics than I am at strategy. Okay, I know my limitations. Excellent. Also, I love my wife and kid. And, I love my dad and my big sister. Well, older sister. And, Giran's, my brother. I won't say a bad word about him because he's family, but, yeah.
You actually see the moment where Dozle meets his wife, and she pulls a gun on him because she's part of the
cadet
her job is to distract him. She's in the academy during the coup, and she's there to distract them. And she pulls a gun on him. He's like, "Hold a gun on me? I found a new kink."
But yeah, it's very clear he respects the living shit out of this young woman.
Yes.
He's like,
You just pulled a gun on me. That's okay. You're awesome, and we need to do this in my bedroom. So,
but it's very clearly the case of like, okay, like, it's like, wow, I didn't know I would like. A, you're gorgeous. B, I respect the living shit out of your chutzpah, lady.
you've got chutzpah. You've got tons of chutzpah.
It's literally
Like,
yeah.
dear Lord,
He
you're a
wants
brave woman.
Pulls the gun on him. Well, I hadn't considered taking a wife, but okay.
He proposes to her like after the whole thing over. She's like, she comes in expecting to be dressed down, but he's like, okay, look, I don't know how to say it. Would you be my wife? And she's like, wait, what? Yeah.
I mean, obviously, there's going to be this dating thing and stuff, but like the end goal is wife.
Like, I actually really like you. I'm as surprised by this as you are, to be totally honest. Like, I did not expect to meet my wife by having her pull a gun on me, but hey, stranger things happen.
Hey, everyone looks a little strange, and I guess that's mine. So,
She's like,
sure, we can date and see where this goes. Oh shit, I actually do like him.
holy crap, he's actually
He's a really sweet guy when he's not trying to murder people. Oh my god.
Wow, he's actually like, wow, I actually, like, I'm falling for him. What the hell? Why am I falling for him? Okay, well, okay. None of this makes any sense to either of us, I think, so...
No, they're both completely clueless as to how this happened, but they're okay with it.
Yeah. They're actually kind of adorable, let's be honest. Seriously, Dozle's adorable with his family. It's really
He really
sweet.
is.
It's he's not a complete monster. He's just a monster.
Yeah. Dozle is one of the two zombies with redeeming features.
with actual who Honestly,
with
if you were
actual
to,
redeeming features.
if you were to pull him and Garma away from the rest of the Zabis and put them with other people, they'd be fine.
Yeah.
It's entirely the lessons that he learned growing up with Degwin as his dad.
Yeah.
And he didn't get the worst elements of that, unlike Girin, who did.
Totally got the worst elements.
We don't know about the other brother because he kind of got exploded before we could see much of him.
He got exploded.
But yeah, I think the other really great bit is during the Admiral's escape, he actually stumbles across where Char is doing the testing of the new ship because it's a new ship and it has new stuff. And he's like, huh, that's a Federation ship. Okay, tell them to stop. Okay, they keep coming. Fire some warning shots. They've stopped. I'm gonna go see what the fuck's going on here. Why the hell are they here? Alright. Who are you people? Why are you here? Why have you come into Zeon's territory? One of the people on the ship tries to shoot him. He disarms them in an amusing fashion. And then the Admiral walks in. He looks at the Admiral and goes, "Oh, you're Admiral so-and-so.
You're Admiral so-and-so, weren't you?" "Yes, I am." And all the people on the bridge sort of do the whole, like, face palm thing. He goes, "Huh. That's an interesting fiction. I guess nothing ever happened here."
Char immediately just snaps to attention, salutes him, and saying, "Sorry to bother you, sir. I'll be on my way."
See, yeah, you can just do your thing. I never saw anything.
Yeah, Char's like, "Oh, hang on. This guy's meant to be in a Zeon prison. Something's going on here. I am not touching somebody else's play."
This reeks of a Zabi plan. I want nothing to do with this.
Oh, he wants this all recorded on his private hard drive is what he wants.
No. We're releasing all records of this. There are no records of this on my ship. My personal computer is a different matter, but I'm not saying anything about that.
There are no records of this on my ship anywhere. My Zaku is a different matter, but you know.
So yeah, during all this, we also do get little bits of Amuro at home. Sort of the stuff where he discovers his dad's, sort of things on the
Working on the Gundam.
On the Gundam.
Yeah, turns out his dad was one of Minovsky's lab assistants back in the day, and he's able to reverse engineer how to do the Minovsky reactor to power their own mobile suits. And the Federation still has better metallurgy, so that's how you get Gundams.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll admit the stuff with Rey is kind of shoehorned in. It kind of has to be because
they needed to throw it in.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take up enough time to be a real distraction.
No, but obviously his whole engagement really only starts when he discovers the Gundam, and this is basically gives a little bit more to the. He's not just a kid that suddenly suddenly stumbled across the Gundam because his dad built it, and wasn't that a coincidence? It's like, no, he knew about it. He's been actively looking for it and trying to figure out what the fuck it is.
Yep.
All he knew was this one name, Gundam.
He saw like these sketches of this robot thing, and he's like, "The fuck." This is in his dad's hidden workroom in his house, their house. It's like, the fuck, Dad has a hidden workroom. What the hell? What is this robot thing? What is a Gundam? Okay, apparently he's working over here. Oh, look, military people. Okay.
Huh. Guess this isn't just colony expansion engineering. Okay.
Apparently Dad's working with the military. Huh. And apparently the Gundam thing's over there. Well, all right, I'm gonna go find out. Like, okay, guys, you're gonna tell me about the Gundam thing because my dad is involved in this.
No,
apparently you're not gonna tell me about this. Okay, and you've cleared out my dad's lab at home.
You're gonna tell me about this Gundam thing. We're gonna hold you in a cell. Shut up, kid. But no, you're in a cell.
Yes,
well,
your father is important, and we don't want to cause you any undue harm or injury or anything like that. But we can't have you ask any more questions either. So you're gonna stay here for a little bit while we deal with your house.
The whole reason, the whole thing of it is that their colony. I can't remember which one it is now. Is it side 5? Is it?
Thought it was side 7.
7.
I think it's 7.
No,
Yeah.
7. Yeah, 7. Is basically absolutely, completely of the whole orbit around the Earth and the colonies and everything else. Side 7 is at the exact opposite side to the Zabi.
Now Principality of Xeon, having
The Xeon,
restructured
yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Down
So it's like that's where they've been doing the research and keeping it all, to one side away, so there's no rumors. This is totally not going to play any problem whatsoever for any of the characters we've met so far.
Nope.
No.
Nope. Char's sister has totally not gone off to side 7 to be a nurse over there because they have critical shortage of medical personnel there, so that she can be far away a fuck from the war. This war that is the stupid goddamn war that's cost basically every entire goddamn family.
And it is never going to come to her there.
Because that would be wrong.
There's actually a great bit where I don't remember there were pro Xeon or pro Fetty guys rioting on the Texas colony, but it was one of them. I don't remember which. It doesn't matter. They're running around shooting people. They're going after the Moss family because they're assholes. And actually holds them off with like a few of the Moss retainers and like an old friggin' like 1812 lever action rifle.
Yeah,
Winchester.
Awesome.
She's awesome.
Oh, she can handle herself, but yeah, she's like, I'm done with this fucking war. This was just after the colony drop, and the fact that the Xeons were now taking over the other colonies, the element, the looters and that kind of thing, basically rose up and started causing shit. Everything went a bit lawless, and of course it's Texas, so of course it went lawless.
Ew. But yeah, no, she basically, yep, I'm leaving. Great, this place sounds absolutely fucking perfect. I can get away from the stupid
far
war
away.
thing.
I'm working in my field. Sounds awesome.
And so at the very end, we get to see a few of the important characters that are good, the characters who are going to be important in the Mobile Suit Gundam 79. And it ends with a shot of White Base. Well, it ends with White Base basically, flying off to side 7 to go pick up the Gundam, and Char going, I wonder where that's going. And that's basically where it ends, which is basically the beginning of Mobile Suit Gundam 79.
Which is like the opening scenes of Gundam 79, yeah.
Seamless.
Pretty much, honestly.
Just with a fast drop in animation quality.
Yeah. Which is why we've been saying, which is why we said, as we said at the beginning, dear God, we want 79 to get a Yamato treatment.
Yes.
It like, dear God, I want that. Like, having now watched this, I would love to watch 79 now, but the animation's gonna be gonna be tough to get through. But I might stick it out at some point because I'm actually interested.
I'm thinking of doing it. Yeah.
We won't be doing a episode of the show on it because
no, it's too long anyway.
It's too long. That's the problem. It's for the same reason we're not doing G Gundam. We would totally do G Gundam. I would have chosen G Gundam a while ago if it hadn't been the fact that it is like 60
we would
episodes long.
never stop talking about G Gundam. There's just so much nonsense in that show.
I'm gonna punch God with my giant robot. Wait, are you telling me my giant robot is in fact God?
Apparently.
Because I have to go punch the devil, which is also a giant robot.
Oh dear.
So yeah, I guess we'll get into final thoughts on this. Since it was Gav's choice, I'll start, then Eric, then Gav. This, it did its job. It got me interested in the Universal Century, honestly. Like, I now have a frame of reference. This is big.
Yeah. Like I said at the start before when we went to pre-show, you now have that big red dot that says you are here.
Yes. But yeah, ignoring the fact that it's given me a frame of reference for Gundam, I actually might be able to get into Gundam now at all, which I've never been able to really before. I legitimately thought this was really interesting. Char is a fascinating character. He's an asshole, but dear God, he's an entertaining one. He is a magnificent bastard. He's great. He's a great character. It did a really good job at sort of establishing the history of the Gundam of the Universal Century. It was pretty, like it was well animated, it was well drawn. The voice acting was really good, and it was well paced. It covered a lot of time in 13 episodes and did it well. Like what we covered in the show, it may have said it was less disjointed feeling than it sort of felt talking about it. Watching it didn't feel disjointed at all. It flowed really well. Like even the hops to like Amuro, like actually worked weirdly. I'm just baffled by it. But yeah, it was just a well executed show. Like even ignoring like the fact that it's a prequel, like I really enjoyed watching it. I really can say flatly, like I would recommend this to anybody, even who's not anyone who likes sci-fi. Like it's not really a giant robot show because there's not very much of the giant of the Gundam in it. It's sci-fi, political politics, and war. Primarily, honestly, and mostly politics. And the story of Char Aznable. I mean, well,
Hey, Char. Well,
the man who would be called Char Aznable.
Yeah.
I recommend it. It's good. Thumbs up. Thumbs way up. It was really good. I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. Zarek?
So I was already a bit of a junkie for Universal Century side stories. And yeah, this is great. It was it had a lot of really interesting character stuff going on. It had some great political drama happening. Great animation across the board. Motherfucking Zaku's, which are the best mobile suits. Fight me. Yeah, I mean,
what about the what is it? The Kshatriya?
That doesn't show up till Unicorn, so we can ignore it for now until it shows up.
To be fair, the Kshatriya is just what an angel is to humans. A Kshatriya is to a Zaku. It's just a big Zaku with wings.
It's a big Zaku with wings.
Fair.
But no, I really enjoyed this. Watching, I knew Char was a magnificent bastard. Watching him grow into his bastardosity, was fun and fascinating. And he was already like my favorite character from the Universal Century, and seeing him go from like a wee angry little git to like the fucking Red Comet was pretty cool. Right down to why he wears that stupid mask. It's like, oh no, the mask is literally there because he has eye damage. And I thoroughly enjoyed this. And Peter already said most of what I was already going to say. This might surpass 8th MS Team as my favorite Universal Century story.
Ooh.
Partially because it ends without the director dying and everyone else going, what the fuck are we supposed to do?
Fair.
So yeah, I mean, with me, it's like, again, like I was actually in the weird sort of like middle niche here where I hadn't seen anything of Universal Century as such, so I kind of knew where Peter was, and like I say, going into it, didn't really know where to start. But I had enough knowledge to get me by and know what I was talking about, despite the fact that I'd never actually seen it. So it was nice to drop back to that almost pre-mobile suit era, because like I said, other than a few tanks and the various others, they didn't really have them. This was the dawn of the mobile suit, and as Peter said, this was much more about the politicking and the actual issues at hand rather than the actual suits. They were about to be brought in. Let the original series handle that and all the cool shit. This is the build up, the why we got there, and it's easy to forget how much how political the Gundam series get. I mean, IBO, when we watch that, there's a whole lot of manipulation and shit going on in that. Gundam did it originally, just it doesn't get as remembered as well because oh my god, giant robots. There's a really well fleshed out background, to work with, and this just like expands on that and gives it like these two have already said, it's got huge potential if they just go forward with this now and redo the original. Just to tidy it up, to neaten it up, to make it less of a product of its time, and more just into what this could be. Like I said, the Yamato remake we just had. Tighten the story up, get rid of the filler, and just give us more of this.
I would be down. I would be down.
Yeah, I would be completely down with this.
But yeah, again, it's nice to. I mean, like I said, I haven't seen the original Gundam, so I can't say it wholly. But I always got the idea of Char himself was kind of the Saturday morning cartoon. He didn't have to know why he was a bad guy. He was a bad guy. And this is, it gives us a reason. It's not just old Buckethead. It's Char. It's Char Aznable. He has a reason. He has a background and a plot and events that made him into what he is. They added character to him going through the original show when they reveal the reveal of his sister and everything else that goes on. But at the beginning, from what I understood, it was literally he was just angry pilot guy. And maybe I'm underselling it, but this is the thing. If there's one thing that this show's done, I want to go back and watch it now. I know where to start. I know where the starting point is, and I actually want to.
I'm genuinely interested to see how Char. I'm really interested to see the sort of interactions between Char and Amuro now. I want to see more of that. I want to see how Ramba Brawl fits into all of this. I'm interested, and I may have to watch 79, despite the fact that I'm sort of
That's the thing. I mean, I want to see Char come up against somebody who's an equal to him as a pilot, and see how he handles that. Ral. What was that? Sorry.
I'm keeping my mouth shut.
Okay. Ral, there's a reason that Ral showed up in Gundam Bill Fighters, because he's a beloved character from the original series. I want to see why.
Well, we've got a hint at why. We've
got a hint at why, but like I say, he got that showing in Bill Fighters based on long before this was made. So, there must be something there.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's a round 3 thumbs up for this.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good show. We all recommend it. Seriously, it's fun. Well done. Well done, Sunrise. Seriously. Everybody involved did a great job.
Now do more.
Yeah.
Yes.
Please
go spice up 79.
I would watch that.
Go do that.
I would watch
that. Go do that, and then I'll watch 8th MS Team and Unicorn.
In fact, don't make anything
War
new.
In the
just go back
Pocket.
and redo everything.
You don't need to redo Unicorn. Unicorn's recent enough.
Yeah, Unicorn's recent enough, and just skip Seed. Destiny and Seed. They didn't happen.
Well, they're not even part of the Universal Century, so fuck them.
Are they not?
No.
I thought they were.
No, they're not part of the.
Oh no, that was the attempt to make a second long-running universe. No.
At any rate, so next time we'll be covering my new selection, which I've decided what it is, and we're gonna be doing more space opera.
Space.
But no robots this time. Sorry, guys.
Oh.
Ooh.
We are going to be watching Legend of the Galactic Heroes, Die Neue These. Not the original.
Yes, we like remakes of old shit.
We're going to yes. Legend of the Galactic Heroes, Die Neue These is came out I think last year, and it is a reboot of the original Legend of the Galactic Heroes. It covers the first sort of major arc of the show. And it did well enough that they are doing more. But they cover basically roughly 20 some odd episodes worth of material from the original show in 12.
Okay.
It does cut
All
some
right.
of the fat and some bits here and there that I think might have been nice to have kept. As I said, I've seen the original Legend of the Galactic Heroes. It was long. It was really, really good. It is one of the most in-depth space operas it is the most in-depth space opera I've seen in anime. Period. Because it's a space opera that ran 110 episodes.
We've got time to describe shit.
And let's just say that it's on the fleet encounters. It is a gigantic battle between two star nations with massive fleet battles. And when I say massive fleet battles, I'm talking like, Macross level size fleet battles.
Right.
Not quite that. I don't think they're quite that big, but the ships are measured in the tens of thousands, if I remember correctly.
There are no Veritex. I'm sad.
No. There are no Veritex, Eric. I do apologize. They're merely big spaceships and fighters. And lots of them. Also, good, very well thought out, in-depth strategies and tactics and stuff. And a lot of politics. Oh boy, there's a lot of politics.
Yep, this sounds like a Peter show.
What? No!
But-
No, never.
Does J-pop save the galaxy?
No.
It's crap.
Eric, it's not Macross. It merely has gigantic fleets. That's the only similarity.
Okay.
It is sci-fi and has gigantic fleets. There are also no aliens. It is all humans.
Doesn't try to work kind of human.
All humans. Just baseline humans, dude. It's, yeah. One side is definitively an empire. The other is a republic. It is a battle between the Galactic Empire and the democracy of the Free Planets Alliance, and both sides are and there's very clearly a good guys and bad guys in the show. Yep, totally. There is no
absolutely.
shades of gray in this show. Oh my God, the shades of gray. Neither side's governments are particularly without
Good.
fault. Let's just put it that way.
Well, of
Right.
course, the governments.
There are good people on both sides. There are bad people on both sides. Is what it boils down to.
So politicians, you say?
See, I can't buy that. Like, clearly there's going to be Sith Lords and Jedi, and that's just the way it works. It's the way space works.
There are no laser swords either, Eric.
What the hell?
No space magic.
You're not selling this to me at all.
Gigantic fleets of spaceships blowing the crap out of each other, Gav.
Okay.
As I said, the battles are between fleets measured in the tens of thousands.
Okay, important question. Is there a rocket-powered poleaxe?
No.
Well, there's no robot to wield it, so that'd be a bit,
You can stick on the end of a ship. I can see that working. Be very silly, but it would work.
There are no grappler ships either, Eric. I'm sorry.
Well, I guess I'll just have to give it a shot.
Indeed.
Oh, dear.
In all seriousness, though, it is a classic for a reason. The original was a classic for a reason, and the reboot, I think, does a good job. But we'll see what Gav and Eric think of it when we watch it.
Yeah, honestly, this has been on my list for a while, so yeah, for all the shit we're giving Peter, yeah, it's totally just giving him shit.
They're just giving me crap. I know that they're both. I'm fairly certain they're both going to like it.
Despite the complete lack of rocket-powered poleaxes.
See, the thing is, I know Eric likes science fiction without giant robots. He just likes making noises about the fact that only giant robots matter.
I don't know what you're talking about. Ian Banks is one of my favorite authors.
See?
That's ridiculous. Why would I ever read Ian Banks?
Uh-huh. Of course. Anyways, that's going to do it for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you enjoyed the show, please do feel free to throw a like and subscribe on YouTube. That way, it helps with the metric. It helps with the the algorithm bullshit, etc.
Validate us.
And if you got feedback for us, we love getting that shit. And
Yes.
Honestly, we probably could use some. We're all beginning to run a little thin on show selection. So suggested shows for us to cover might be are things we'll be willing to listen to. We always have been, but
we have we have a list. We've done a few.
We do. We are keeping a list of recommendations. Yes.
Yeah, 12 to 24 episodes. Because it's about what we can do in a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah, basically, anything more than 26 episodes is something we probably won't do.
Yeah, otherwise there are several we already would have done.
Yeah, there's a reason we would do. Otherwise, we would have done Full Metal Alchemist or Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. We would have done G Gundam.
Would have done both.
We would, probably both. We would have done G Gundam. We would have done. There's a bunch of stuff we would have done. Honestly,
yeah.
But it's just all this stuff too. We can't cover it in a reasonable period of time. Is the problem?
It's not me that will not watch it as an aperitif before we get into the actual nitty gritty of what we're supposed to be watching.
There's a reason we haven't done an episode on Stardust Crusaders yet.
Yeah,
we watched it as a group. We've seen all of Part 3 of JoJo. We just don't want to spend the 4 hours it'll take to cover it.
Yeah. So that's the thing. The longer the show, the longer the episode itself takes. And plus, we're all getting old now, so we need to remember the beginning of the show by the time we get to the end.
Yeah, So as much as we all love JoJo, there probably is not going to be another JoJo episode.
They're getting long.
I'm going to make them watch I'm going to make them watch Part 4 and Part 5, and when Part 6 comes out, I'll make them watch that too. But they need time to digest between JoJo's because oh boy, they're long. Part 3 is the longest of them, so. But at any rate, yeah. But if you got suggestions, basically less than 26 episodes or less in general. If it's part of an ongoing series, if we might cover if you like a season of it, as long as it's a somewhat self-contained season. That's part of the problem.
Yes.
That's part of the problem we had with Code Geass. That's the reason Code Geass was problematic for us.
Yeah, and I forgot how season 1 ends.
Yeah, Eric had forgotten how cliffhangery season 1 was. Yeah, basically Eric was assuming had remembered season 1 being more self-contained than it was, shall we say?
Yeah.
That's why we've been able to do Slayers twice, is because each season of Slayers is a self-contained story.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even Iron-Blooded Orphans, it's one of those shows that I've thought of revisiting for the second season.
Oh, and we
season
probably will
one
at some point.
is
a self-contained story.
Season 1 is done. Yeah,
it's a self-contained story. Duwani, the most shows we've listed off don't really have good season breakpoints. Is the problem? Full Metal Alchemist has no breakpoint. There's technically a season 1 and a season 2. No.
Yeah, I think it's technically 4 seasons.
When the seasons just basically denote, when that block of the story aired. It's like, no, we need an actual, self-contained.
Yep. Anyways, that's going to do it for this episode, guys. Thank you again, everybody. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll be back next time with Legend of Galactic Heroes, the new version. Not the very, very long one that no. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.